they haven't managed to get anything going for them. They've had clear win cons. They've had a team comp, but they just haven't been able to get anything online.
Yeah, that's sort of been the case for them, as we are in our picks and bans, so we should jump over to them right now. As you can see, QUT is actually going to be on the blue side, Murdoch on the red side, so a little bit of a side swap at the end of the day. Bans pretty standard, but the big one, the undefeated one, Senna, did get let through, and does QUT look to prioritize it?
I think if QUT picks Senna here, it'll be really important, because it'll be a determining factor on the statistics, and we are going to see the Senna picked up. Currently last 2 weeks, the 100% win rate, that could go in their favor, but we'll have to see what Murdoch picks here, or tries to counterpick here, to shut down that Senna.
Yeah, we're going to see a streak get broken, either Senna's undefeated streak or QUT's winless streak. One of those is going to have to change in this one, as Murdoch actually opting for the Elise. And this is a strong jungler that we haven't seen too much of really throughout this tournament so far. Again, feast or famine, but very aggressive in a tournament that has actually come to reward more aggressive play as we've moved deeper and deeper into this. Do you think this might be a good answer for Murdoch?
I actually think that's a really good pick from them. We've seen a couple of Feast or Famine champions played in this tournament. We've seen the Evelyns, we've seen the Elises, and we've seen both sides of the coin. We've seen Elises go 0-4 and not be able to do anything, and we've seen them go 10-2, just absolutely decimate through teams. So I think that Murdoch, they're comfortable, so I think that's a very strong pick for them, as they actually get the Lovers duo in the bot lane as well.
Yeah, and this is a bot lane we haven't seen too much of in this tournament as well. Xayah not really been that big priority pick for a lot of people as well. Okay, cat just jumped on my lap. Anyways, yeah, they haven't really been that big a priority pick for sure. But on the other side, Sett and Galio, well, Sett has been one of those priority picks. Actually, it's been one of the more dominating top laners thus far. And taking it blind, yes, risky, but I think Tron the Palm is going to be quite comfortable on this one.
Yeah, I think it's mainly getting the Sett out of the hands of Simpmaster, as we've seen him perform incredibly well on that champion multiple times. So I think that was mainly, they're trying to get Murdoch out of their comfort zone and maybe throw a spanner in their, team comp work. So I think that that's a fine pick. I'm interested in the Galio pick. I assume that will be a Galio support. Throwing them off. It's a flex pick. They can play it mid. They can play it support. I personally think it's a champion that they're going to play with the Senna and just try go for that hard, safe lane. But you never know.
Murdoch doesn't seem to think so, however, as they are going to ban away the Tahm Kench, but in doing so, that actually might force the Galio down there on support, because it kind of gets rid of that, ideal support option right there for QUT. Obviously, still a flex pick. I'm curious to see if it will be run by Entropic or Westy. I do believe we've seen Entropic actually play the Galio once before so far in this tournament, so that's more evidence that it might be going down to the bot lane. Olaf's going to get banned away. Olaf, actually one of the stronger junglers at the start of this tournament, has kind of swayed from favor thus far, as Murdoch really kind of feels like they're doing a pick and ban from 4 weeks ago, a month ago.
Yeah, it feels like they're doing week 2 pick and bans, which, at least it's showing some respect to QUT in the fact that QUT can play those conventional champions. As we see the Renekton getting picked up in the top lane, that's a really good pick against Sett. The shred on his W, really good at removing that shield from Sett's W, so that could be really big for the side of Murdoch and shutting down that Sett in the top lane.
It does mean we are going to see, two brawlers really going at it, though. So this top lane is going to be kind of a bit of a skill matchup, which I'm excited to see. Tron the Palm as well as Simpmaster are two of the, what I feel, stronger members of each of these teams. Plus, you are going to have a jungler, at least on the Murdoch side, that's actually quite aggressive and could be looking to prioritize that top side, help get that Renekton ahead. Meanwhile, on the outside, Diana's going to get locked in, and that's kind of confirming our belief that the Galio will be run in support. Diana most likely will be in that mid lane, which does leave the jungle open, and we see Shen getting hovered, and all of a sudden QUT's team comp is starting to get very interesting looking.
Yeah, they lock in the Shen, so is that a Sett jungle?
Sett jungle.
Yeah, I think it's a Sett jungle, and that's kind of thrown a little bit of a spanner in the works of Renekton, because, Shen's one of those champions that can theoretically just hold lane against Renekton quite well. Put the W down and just ignore a lot of his damage output. So that that's definitely an interesting pick as we get the Nico picked up for, we will assume, the mid lane, or they could play it top lane.
They could. There's a lot of flex options right here. I definitely like the Shen pick into the Renekton, however, because yes, it is conceding the top half of the map, perhaps towards Murdoch, but it's not going to be a steamroll. Even with an Elise gank, Shen is actually quite hard to bring down in early levels. So QUT's top side should be quite safe. However, and here's a problem that I kind of have with the QUT side. That bot lane isn't really going to be, you know, doing too much either. It will be a more starving Senna, actually. Entropic looks to be running it with Galio being played by Little Simo. Either way, though, it's also a strong lane for Murdoch on the bot half of the map, and that's going to put so much pressure on the mid lane for QUT, on this Diana, to get that lead, get roaming, and kind of bail out their side lanes as quickly as possible. And it's into a Nico, one of the safest mid laners in the game. If I were to pick a winner of this pick in ban phase, and my prediction for this game, I'm leaning towards Murdoch in this one.
Yeah, you know, I'm leaning towards Murdoch. I think that there was some smart pick and bans from the side of QUT there. I like the, you know, the set hover, you know, baiting out where that's going to be the, you know, the Galio. Is that going to go mid? Is it going to go support? So they definitely, you know, thought about what they were doing in their pick and ban phase. So that's interesting, but I still think Murdoch, I agree with you, I think Murdoch came out on top. And I think overall they have a lot less to-do lists to start getting ahead. Whereas I think QT's team comp has given them a checklist that they have to get done if they want to win.
Exactly, and the big issue I have, and why I think it's going to be a challenge for the QUT side, actually comes down to the jungle selection. And while I do think Zed is a great jungle, into that Elise, who is going to have that faster clear, going to be that one step ahead, one would think, during the early game. The early game where Killabrew needs to get Monkey going, or where Janet needs to get Westy going in that mid lane. Got my teams confused right there. He's might be one step behind, and I feel like if QUT, or I should say, getting my colors mixed up. If Murdoch is able to shut down the set, that's what I'm getting at. If Murdoch can stop the set from enabling this Diana, I trust Nico well enough to be playing safe enough to give Murdoch a massive early game lead. That is what I'm going to be looking for, though. What is going to be Janet's answer to essentially a lot of pressure to get that mid lane ahead when the odds are stacked against him?
Yeah, I 100% agree there. I think that the big person to look at in this early game is going to be the Elise. We've mentioned that Feast or Famine concept on that champion. You've got the Feast and Famine on top of the extra pressure, like you mentioned, of getting that mid lane ahead. So, or at least maybe counteracting that push in the mid. So,
well, we're going to have to see how it plays out. I do believe we are jumping on to the Rift momentarily, and when we do, it's going to be an exciting one for sure. As looks like I'm kind of going super speed right now. Is everything? Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you fine.
All right, well, that's good to know. I'm not too sure what was going on right there. So, again, remote broadcasting, we do the best we can. Things look to be cleaner now. I'm just going to move my hand. Do we see? Oh, look at that move. Look at those frames. So many frames.
Very good. Yeah, so going into this, I think that we're going to see a pretty stagnant top lane, if I'm being honest. In that matchup, it should be reasonably stagnant, but hey, you never know.
Well, absolutely. It's just a big case of whether or not we can see a top lane get pushed ahead. As if you hear some LCK in the background, quick apologies right there. You know, you want to get as much league into one household as possible, apparently. And just watching my housemate panic is the best part of the situation right now, but that's okay. The action on this Rift is probably not quite at that level just yet, but soon we will top the LCK, as we tend to do here in Australia.
Yeah, I think we have the best competition on Twitch right now, so anyone watching LCK, go into the chat, bring them over here.
All right, composures we got. We're back. I'm going to ignore the fact I see 2 Elises on the map because I did remember there was a Nico and I didn't have an immediate panic attack. I can guarantee you that right now. Rakan doing a little bit of invading, dropping some wards, looking to track the jungler that is a Janet in this one. As you can see, they will be spotting out the fact eventually that Janet did go ahead and start on the top half of the map, similarly to 1 Killaroo. So junglers matching each other, but sort of in an opposite way than expected. And I love this, just sticking on that Elisa farm. Westy knows that is not Killaroo, but he's going to hold the disguise either way.
Yeah, hold the disguise just for a little bit of fun. You know, there's no reason to drop it yet. Finally drops it as he takes a little bit of damage there from Westy, throwing out the Q, I believe. So,
yeah.
Ooh, wow. Tron the Pond, you know, taking a little bit of a trade up in top lane, opting for that D shield over the blade, you know, obviously going for a more defensive lane, as we're just going to see the bot lane is going to be a lot of soul sucking from the side of Entropic.
Yeah, it's another starving Senna, undefeated thus far, and all of that gold is also going to be going to Little Simo on the Galio as well, which is actually going to be quite scary as we get later into this game, just because of really those couple of dive champions. But more importantly, if Little Simo can get to the back line, there's not a lot of escapes if people have, like, you get jumped on the face of. Now, obviously, there is some semblance of peel, but it's like really close quarters peel. I'm going to be curious to see what will happen. I'm not the most enthusiastic about this Galio pick, truth be told, but when he's getting that farm in conjunction with Entropic on the Senna, good things might be able to happen.
Yeah, good things might be able to happen. We do have, you know, at least 2 magic damage dealers on the side of Murdoch, so getting that magic damage shield isn't the, you know, it is quite a nice, you know, cherry on top. So that could always be nice, as we see exactly what we thought was going to happen there in the top lane. Yeah. The second Simp Master tries to go for something, Tron the Pom pops the W and takes him down.
Simp Master is actually quite low. Simp Master is actually very low. If we can jump up there real quick, Mr. Cameraman, please. Okay, it looks like Simp Master was able to escape on a sliver of health. So a big trade going in Shen's favor that will be bringing Killaroo up towards the top half of the map as well. And we might be seeing a delayed gank right there, as baiting the recall in lane has been spotted by the ward, is 1 Killaroo, and because of that is going to back away for now. Also, Simp Master did complete his recall. So Simp Master, good job holding onto the flash right there. A bit unfortunate we didn't get to see that exchange. However, very interesting that Tron the Palm came out on top.
Yeah, from the looks of it, he went really aggressive and just got jumped on by Tron the Pom. We got the TP coming in from Simp Master, opting for the double D-Blade build, going for that, you know, early damage as he's going for the gank.
Yeah, the gank is coming through. That is a teleport and a flash. So already a lot of resources used. Tron the Pom is able to lunge away, still has his flash available. The prediction had the right angle, but did not have the distance, and no first blood is to be had yet.
No first blood yet, as, you know, they trade flashes in the top lane, as that's pretty much the end of it right now. We might see a teleport coming out from Tron the Pom, so effectively all that we've seen here is a trade of summoners in the top lane, so as we do see the teleport coming out. So top lane currently resetting summoner spells in favor of Simp Master.
Yep.
So Westy taking a lot of damage there from Skippy.
What's interesting, though, is I feel like the teleport is so much more valuable for Simp Master than it is for Tron the Pom, just because of the Stand United ability that Tron will have. He kind of has 2 teleports to Simp Master's 1, and that means that 1 has to be used effectively, and without that teleport available, and with Tron the Pom going to be getting 6 very, very soon, that either means Murdoch is going to have to make a play for that dragon before Tron the Pom hits 1 more level, or they're going to be at a teleport disadvantage if they try to make any dragon play. Simp Master could also look to shove Tron the Pom in and maybe get him low enough so he won't go for that kind of play, but that also might leave him exposed to a gank, which you can see Janet is actually looking at that top half of the map right now.
Yeah, no, he's definitely hovering that side of the map, as he looks like he might be going for it right now.
Yeah, he will be. Simp Master does not have flash, but gives enough respect once he's recognized how he might be ganked upon, is going to be able to back away for now. However, Tron the Pom is going to use that to get some more experience, get ever closer to that level 6, and that window for Murdoch to contest this dragon is slowly coming to a close.
Yeah, it's slowly coming to a close right now, as, like you said, Tron the Pom, if he gets that 6, they're pretty much at a disadvantage because there's no way that Simp Master can get down fast enough. The only hope they have is that he ulties in the middle of lane and is, you know, stunned.
Yeah.
But right now, he's just hit 6, he has the Stand United available, so Murdoch has to be very careful of the fact that they can now turn a 4v fight into a 4v5.
Especially with Tron actually shoving this top lane in as well. It does mean Sipmaster really is going to be unable to respond. He's going to be clearing minions, and Tron the Palm, he has a window now to really do whatever he wants to do, and he's also looking at a potential tower dive right here. Sipmaster has to be very, very careful as Tron doing what he can. He is going to get the taunt, get a bit of damage in, but not get too much, and unfortunately for Tron, unable to save that wave. Sipmaster going to collect some CS right there. Now, Killaroo is heading more towards the top half of the map. Meanwhile, on the bottom half, it does look as if Janet's going to go ahead and clear that control ward. So Murdoch conceding the bot half of the map, will probably be conceding this dragon in hopes for a play yet again on Tron the Bomb, who does not have flash available just yet. This cocoon has to connect. Teleport's actually coming through, so Westy's looking to help his top laner up, and that does mean Sipmaster is going to turn and try to run away, but he's already so low, gets thrown back into the fight and will go down. First blood going to Tron the Palm, but Skippy is here, and here comes the Pop Blossom. It connects on to Tron the Palm, so he will go down as a 1-for-1 in the top lane, but Dragon is given over for QUT on the other side of the map.
Yeah, that's the one for the QUT getting that Cloud Drake. Overall, I'm trying to have a look at how that's turned out. QUT is still in a very good position, if I'm being honest, so I think QUT will take that. Yes, they've got the kill onto Skippy, but, you know, Westy there was able to get the assist. Unfortunately, didn't get the kill. Otherwise, I would say that QUT came out in the better option there, but I still think that the pickup of the Dragon, the pressure that they're putting on is still more than enough to say that they took that quite well.
Yeah, first blood and first dragon each going to the QUT side. Two things to be very, very happy about in this one. Now, again, Murdoch did kind of lose that pressure on the bot lane a bit earlier. I'm a bit surprised actually to see how many resources Murdoch kind of committed on the top half of the map to maybe try and turn things around right there. I'm sorry, how many resources QUT put out there, Westy teleporting up there, but it did pay off because they were able to get that kill. So that kind of mitigates the cross-map play that Murdoch was going for. Fortunately for Murdoch, they did find that kill. They did get it onto Skippy. However, this is still very good for QUT because they're getting these small advantages across the map and kind of only Murdoch's to one half of it. And, you know, 2 is greater than 1. And for QUT, that's a small lead that hopefully they can work with and maybe keep building upon.
Yeah, QUT will take a lead when they can get it, so I think that definitely they're more than happy with what happened and like how things turned out, because like you said, they got the first blood, they got the first Drake. They're looking to make some practice plays, but we do have a potential 3-man top lane on Tron the Palm.
They will get spotted by that ward. Now, which Elise is the real Elise, Tron? Are you going to be able to guess correctly, or are you even going to guess at all? Instead, he's just going to run all the way back to his tower, as we did go over wards, and QUT, they're actually looking to turn this around for a fight because they do want that Rift Herald just as much as Murdoch might want to. Westy sitting on that control ward. People don't know he's there. Damage comes down. It's on to Skippy, who has been revealed. Janet now looking for that engage. It's charging right at the Sipmaster. A great haymaker, pulling everyone in, and Skippy's so low, but gets the Pop Blossom up, holding people in place, and here comes that re-engage. Janet goes down, but the health bars are still held down the QUT side. Sipmaster has the flash, but cannot get away from the curvature blade out of Westy as he finds a kill in response.
Ooh, if Westy was able to get the reset there on the E, he could have kept going there. That could have been tragic for Murdoch, but at the end of the day, Murdoch picking up a kill onto, I believe, Simpmaster there. The big commit from Janet there with the flash E, but just the Pop Blossom doing so much, along with Simpmaster shredding the health of Janet incredibly quickly. And they're lucky to get out there, as again, Flash just came off cooldown for Simpmaster and is immediately used, so that's the Flash advantage down in the top lane currently.
What I'm surprised is we actually didn't see Janet drop his showstopper in the middle of all of that. The ultimate held onto by the jungler out of QUT, and that actually may have equated to more kills and maybe a more convincing fight won by this QUT side. A little bit of a misstep perhaps, as typically in those situations, if you're going to die, you want to use everything as you go out, but something QUT will look to improve upon, I'm sure, moving forward. They did enough to protect the Rift Herald from Murdoch. Murdoch also doing enough to protect the Rift Herald from QUT. Neither side able to take it, and we go back to our lanes right now. A very strategic match so far, this one, as about 11 minutes in, a very low kill scoring game for this tournament.
Yeah, very low kill score and very even, where one team gets an advantage, the other team also gets something in return. So we're not seeing any one-sided stomps at the moment. We're seeing quite a back and forth game, which is what we like to see. So this game currently going very well for both teams.
And QUT, to their credit, we talked earlier in the day about how a lot of these games have been going like 20, 25 minutes, under 30 minutes, or 40 plus minutes. QUT has been in a lot of those 40 plus minute games. They've been going late. So they've had these kind of low kill games, these sort of long drawn out ones. And this game looking at no different. Now, QUT haven't been able to win any of these, but it's been happening a fair bit. Maybe this one will be the one where they finally do bring up that victory and really put a damper on Murdoch's playoff hopes. However, Murdoch, they're getting themselves set up for this next Drake. It is an Infernal Drake, and Sintmaster is going to try and stop Tron the Palm from being able to teleport down there, but not really coming out better too much in this trade. So both top laners with teleport, if they want to fight for this dragon, might be able to teleport down.
Yeah, and Simpmaster actually using ultimate there, so even if the teleports come out from both teams, he has an ultimate down, so a weird ultimate in my opinion from Simpmaster, as he didn't really need the sudden burst of rage to get the heal off, as it looks like Murdoch will happily take an Infernal Drake.
Yeah, I think this is largely going to be uncontested just because of Simpmaster recalling. QUT didn't really quite have an understanding where he was. Plus, Vision at the time was in Murdoch's favor. QUT nervous to step up for it. Don't actually make that play. However, Janet is going to get spotted by that ward, and that is tragic for QUT. The bot lane from Murdoch does know the jungler is there, and unfortunately for Murdoch, they kind of revealed that they knew he was there, immediately retreating back. So I doubt Janet is going to stick around. As you can see, he's recalling. So teams playing very aware right now, kind of reading their opponent's movements to track what's happening, but Janet sticking around, actually starting to push forward. This is a very delayed gank, and I'm curious if Janet goes for it. Murdoch could be stepping into a trap. They're still sitting back. Pings are coming down. No one's checking into the bush. It's going to be a flash engage out of Janet, who misses with the Haymaker, and oh, that is unfortunate. It was a Hextech flash. It wasn't a real flash, but still, Janet, that's a lot of time wasted on nothing, and a Rev Herald will go to the Murdoch side.
Yeah, the Hex Flash into the head, Skull Smasher, or whatever he is called, didn't pay off, unfortunately, for him, but I will say it was closer than it should have been. Murdoch had the ward there, but they still just let QUT try it, which I think is dangerous, as if that didn't go according to plan, there was the potential for a kill there. So, although, yes, nothing came of it, I think that's actually kind of worrying for the side of Murdoch,
I'm going to hard disagree with you. I'm sorry to do that, but I think Murdoch baiting out the time and resources used and not giving up anything, they didn't even take damage there, was actually a good thing for Murdoch. I'm sure they knew he was still probably lingering around, maybe. Either way, though, they were playing defensively enough that he wasn't able to get the jump on him. So Murdoch, I actually feel, do come out quite on top in that situation. They did get the Rift Herald in response as well, so playing that map, I think Murdoch should be comfortable with that. However, opting to reset now as a response at the end of it does mean this tower is going to take a lot of abuse. It might actually even go down, and that could be that misstep from the Murdoch side.
Yeah, no, actually, I do agree with you there with the, with Janet there. I think you are right. They were playing defensive enough that even if Ducky did get caught out, he's playing Rakan. He can easily get out there without a death. So the time wasted is probably worth more than whatever would have been used. So we haven't seen the tower drop yet. Herald only managed to get one smash off before it was taken down in the top lane. So we're going to see, we're still yet to see a tower fall from either side. So I think that's going to be big, is when this first tower falls.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, a slow-paced game, kind of to QUT's liking. Murdoch as well, minus their matchup against UQ, have also kind of been one of the slower teams in this tournament. As Tron the Palm is going to step forward, get some poke down, but not find too much. Really, all the attention is actually happening down below in this bot lane. Teleport coming through. Westy, he wants to join this fight. Little Simo is here as well with that heroic entrance, but he's not going to catch anyone as he's rooted in place. And here comes the Simp Master. He's trying to get to that back line. The blade from Kilru. The cocoon actually does connect onto Janet, but he's turning all that damage right back around. There's the heroic entrance, knocking everyone from Murdoch up and taking this fight in QT's favor. There's the showstopper as well we were missing last time, and Janet stays alive. I do not know how, but stepping too far forward is Intropic. He avoids the cocoon, stays alive for now, and at the end of it, it's only a 2-for-1 in favor of QUT, but the health bars are low across the map.
That was a very flashy fight. Both engages, the showstopper, the the heroic entrance, the pop blossoms, just overwhelming my eyes there for a second. But a really good stun there from Nightmare, pulling them out, forcing them back into the fight. And then what looked like was about to be a really bad engage for QUT ended up in a pretty good spot for them as they get, the 3-man knock-up. Entropic picking up a kill. Entropic's, starting to get those kills. We've said Senna, got that 100% currently. Definitely overstepped there and was lucky. A late cleanse there, but lucky to get out alive.
There was so many low health bars on the QUT side from Entropic, from Janet at the start of it, and we're not done fighting as Killaroo's trying to get that jump onto Tron the Bomb. Cocoon goes a little bit high, but Simmaster still chasing after it and really losing out on these trades. Killaroo is going to do what he can, but kind of gets chunked down low as well, and now Janet has arrived. Killaroo going to try and repel to safety, but Janet is on the hunt, or is he? Nope, going to avoid it for now. That said, Westy is also looking up at top as well, might be trying to ambush someone in the bush. This tower will fall, and that will be the first tower of the game going to QUT, courtesy of some minions, or in this case, some Winions. Entropic waiting for Murdoch to step forward, and we might see a play right here. No! Ooh. How do you miss the binding from point blank? Entropic's going to want that one back.
Yeah, he's going to want that one back, as the Haymaker Showstopper didn't really connect like they wanted it to. So ulti popped by Janet there to no avail in the top lane. Simpmasters, I think he's happy with what just happened.
Yeah, no, he'll be happy. Like, yeah, I got to go, I got to play airplane with Uncle Set as he picked me up and threw me around. Whee, that was fun, and nothing of value was lost. This Master was A-OK. Meanwhile, the rest of Murdoch, seeing that pressure up top, is going to go ahead and collect themselves that Mountain Drake, their second dragon of the game, and one step closer to that soul, which might actually become relevant in this one, considering the pace we are moving at. This tactical game of chess, those dragons are the pieces that each of these teams should be prioritizing, and Murdoch one step ahead at the moment.
Yeah, Simpmaster playing a little bit of mental warfare there, just using the bilge water and the taunt just to, maybe bait out Tron the Pond to go for something aggressive there. So a little bit of mind games being played up in the top lane, makes sense. There's not much else able to be done up in top lane, so you got to have a little bit of fun. We have the big things right now to take note of is, Senna has got that kill, so I'd be interested to see how many souls Senna has. That would be, I think that's going to be big, is if Senna has a substantial amount of souls gathered at the moment, and Entropic could just be a silent assassin right now for the side of QUT who's just going to pop off in a team fight. So I think that's going to be a big thing to look out for if we can try and find that.
Yeah, I think we'll see that soon enough, I am sure, or at least we're going to see the effects of it one way or another. It's all about, if Entropic, does he pop off and get 3 kills in a fight? Well, probably has a large number of souls. If he instantly dies and does nothing, I'm going to go with the not enough souls. It's a really easy metric system to use in League of Legends. You either have enough or you don't, and that's all determined by if you win the fight or not.
Yeah, that's the fun with scaling champions. You can tell if they've scaled whether or not they're actually doing anything. So if we get into a team fight and Entropic isn't doing any damage, we can say, hey, maybe something didn't go according to plan. But in the reverse order, if he's two-shotting Nightmare, then hey, maybe something went very much according to plan.
Absolutely is. Okay, now you're not going to get the Rift Herald with 15 seconds remaining. It looked like Janet was thinking about it, but that's not going to be the case. Murdoch was also willing to jump if any wards got placed in that Baron Pit itself. Again, though, everyone erring on the side of caution. No one trying to force any fights at the moment. It's just a relatively calm game at this stage, only 4-3 kill line, one of our lower kill games thus far. Each team picking their battles very, very cautiously, no one wanting to give this game up, and the gold score reflective of that, less than 1k difference between these two teams as we pass that 20-minute mark.
Yeah, both teams playing very safe, as we've already seen from the bot lane team fight, how explosive the fights are going to be. Ooh, never mind. Opting not to go for anything cheeky there, but we've seen how explosive the team fights are going to be, so neither team wants to commit to something and be on the receiving end of, 4 ultimates.
Oh, so, Ducky doesn't, He was walking straight at Entropic. Entropic should have been able to connect that actually, but Ducky doesn't juke upwards, doesn't walk into that suppression, and that could open the door for this Killaroo gank right here. He's buying his time, waiting for a chance to go in, but needs to be careful because Janet is actually just below him, and these junglers might actually walk into each other, except for the fact that Janet actually took the safe path. Meanwhile, QT is pushing forward. Meanwhile, Janet does get found by Killaroo as he repelled over the wall and right into a bad situation. Here comes the showstopper, though, but that will just result in a repel. A huge triple knockup coming from Ducky. Buys time for Skippy to join the fight. Gets Janet low, but not quite down. The cocoon does connect on the Troll on the palm, and that will stop a re-engage from the QUT side. Little Simo trying to get damage over the wall is not able to connect. Skippy, Tangle Barbs don't connect either, and QUT looking to disengage perhaps, but they want this wave first.
Yeah, Janet there opting for the flash ulti onto Killaroo, who immediately repels there, managing to get away. Using the flash to get over that wall there, I think, scared of what could happen, as Westy's going to get jumped on here, I think, by Simpmaster.
Oh no, this Diana run for your life, and actually does get away. Good wherewithal coming from Simpmaster not to chase into the jungle. Remember, your own life is more important than getting kills. Smart advice for everyone in silver and below. That advice that sometimes I myself do not follow, and that is why I am silver or below. But these players are smarter than me, and they do the right thing and back away.
Yeah, doing the right thing, backing off there, knowing that, they got the pressure down. It's not worth chasing on the off chance that you get a kill. No. So, I think Simpmaster's going to be happy just pushing that top lane repetitively, trying to force someone into the top lane, whereas Entropic is going to be sitting in this mid lane and just getting repeat ganked.
Ducky is not going to connect to anyone just yet. Kind of lucky he doesn't get jumped upon. Murdoch, they want this third dragon because dragon number 3 gets one step closer to that soul, which I think might be the catalyst for this endgame right now. They have 4 members there. They are going to start it. The heroic entrance as well as the Stand United. Actually, Stand United is not available, but the teleport is, and the teleport's being used. Janet right now is in the pit, as a matter of fact, and he's going to be looking for someone to jump upon. However, Murdoch is clumping together. They are quick this fight, but the dragon is moving more towards QUT, at least before resetting. Murdoch now, not much to fight for, but QUT is going to go ahead and actually restart the dragon. No, they're looking for the fight. The backline is actually caught out by Westy, and that is so much damage. The pop blossom buys so much time, but isn't enough to save Ducky's life. Meanwhile, Skippy is completely out of this fight. Murdoch, only 3 healthy members. They're looking at Little Simo. They root the backline. That's Entropic down. Simpmaster in the middle of everything. He's doing what he can. Drops the showstopper right back into everyone. Janet actually gets that kill with the heroic entrance. That is QUT turning this fight around. They get 4 out of 5, and the dragon to boot.
And the dragon is going to get picked up here as well by QUT. Beautiful team fight from both teams there. QUT coming out ahead there. The Westy ultimate from the Diana, catching the entire Murdoch backline out of position there. As we watch, that was just... Ooh.
Yeah, that was a insane
That's
fight.
The team
this
fight
was the
before.
fight where no one died, which somehow no one falling in this one is a lot of abilities used, but no flashes actually. Only the flash came out of Killaroo in that one, and yeah, it looked like it was going to be dangerous, but this was the big fight. Just Westy's engage onto Ducky and Skippy really put Murdoch on the back foot. And the next one was Janet with that showstopper. As you can see right here, Little Simo gets jumped upon by Simpmaster. That's a mistake because Janet's just going to go ahead and go bam right back onto that back line, punch out the Simpmaster, and at that stage the fight is done. The heroic entrance, well, let's be honest, it didn't do too much right there, but fight was already in QUT's favor, and a dragon to boot as well to tie up our dragon score. But more importantly, QUT with the biggest significant gold advantage so far in this game. At 2K.
At 2K. Yeah, that team fight was great for QUT, but there was still some mistakes, obviously. Entropic there dying out at the end, unfortunately, getting caught out by Nightmare's Featherstorm, or Blade Recall, doing absolutely massive damage, so you still have to respect Nightmare. He may not be ridiculously fed, but he has 212 CS, he has 2 items fully built already, so he's doing a lot of damage. So
that's twice now, by the way, for those of you keeping score, where Entropic has just kind of walked forward straight into Nightmare and paid the price. This time was a bit more lethal than that first time, however. Yeah, Entropic not respecting the feathers, it feels like, and feathers, they're soft, they're cuddly, but these ones are sharp and painful.
Yeah, these ones are sharp and painful, and he's lucky that the first time round he didn't end, They didn't end his life in the first one. This time they did. They pretty much did. So as we looks like we actually might have a fight going on in the mid lane as Murdoch's jumping on.
Yeah, Murdoch piling down right now. You can see the Send United is actually coming through as we pan on down there. Big sniper shot, gonna run away from Little Simo, but can't quite get there. However, the tables are going to turn because Nightmare is on the scene, does not get caught by the taunt. Ducky is, but Ducky is going to be able to jump over the wall. Unfortunately, he's right into Janet, who will pull him right back in. Kablam with the showstopper. Entropic actually will be the one to secure that kill as Nightmare walks away.
Nightmare walking away there, and what looked like was going to be a good fight on the side of Murdoch ends up being completely turned around with the Stand United, just completely turning this game on its head as QT are going to go for Baron.
Yeah, this will be a Baron started by QUT off of those 2 kills, and you have to think this is the best chance QUT has had all season long to come away with the win. They're pulling away in these skirmishes. They're getting more and more objectives on their side, and if they can secure this Baron, which it looks like they will because no one from Murdoch is stepping forward to challenge it, this is really the first time it's felt like QUT has been in the driver's seat of a game all season long.
Yeah, I agree. This is the first time we've seen QUT on the front foot. We usually see them by this point either already out of the game or stalling another 20 minutes trying to, stem the bleeding that has already occurred. Whereas right now, they're sitting on 2 towers to 1. They've got the 4.7k advantage. Their carries are more than happy with how this game is going. And right now, this is a side of QT we haven't seen in this tournament so far.
Yeah, and you have to think back to that Tron the Palm Shen pick. You were thinking Murdoch would be able to push the pressure on the top half of the map and try and shut this Shen down. However, that has not been the case. Tron the Palm actually winning that matchup, getting further and further ahead. This Shen has been an absolute monster for Murdoch to deal with, and credit where credit is due in this instance. QUT playing super well right now. They're winning the side lanes, they're winning the skirmishes, and it's up to Murdoch really to find their team fight to get themselves back into this. But they have such a feast or famine team comp from behind. I feel like they're really going to struggle in this.
Yeah, like we said, Killaroo on that Elise is 0-2, so he hasn't accepted. Oh my.
Lil Simo nearly going down. Entropic, though, is going to get caught by Ducky. Where is the follow-up? They're trying to chase this, send it down. Killaroo will slip forward, but on the other side, Janet is zoning everyone else back. The showstopper comes down, and Murdoch is running for their lives, but they cannot get away from Tron the Palm, who's getting kills on the back half of this fight. In the middle of it, although the main force of Murdoch does get away, but those health bars are so low. Entropic, he's healthy. He's looking for that snipe. The recalls, will they be able to get away? Ducky does get out of dodge alive, but the tower does fall, and QUT, they're continuing to walk forwards.
Entropic somehow staying alive in that fight. And on the backline, Tron the Palm just absolutely one-shotting Killaroo off the face of the Summoner's Rift. So right now, QUT is they're more than in the driver's seat. They're the driver instructor right now, so they are well and truly happy with how this game is going as they're going to Death Push.
Death Push right now, and it's going to be Ducky paying the price as he steps forward and gets obliterated by the QUT side. That is some solo queue tactics that I love to see, and with the support gone, that is going to be an easy dragon picked up, and you can see that ward in the bush right there that QUT cleared out. Murdoch should have known QUT was waiting in that bush by process of elimination. They still step forward, they still fall, and QUT pulls further ahead.
Yeah, and Entropic in this fight, as we see in the replay, had no reason to be alive here. But watch Tron the Palm's damage onto the backline. 3, 2, 1, gone. Just absolutely wiping Killaroo off the face of the planet. Meanwhile, the rest of the team shoving in mid. And watch the damage Entropic putting down on Simpmaster, just constantly one after the other. Nearly managing to get the kill. Yeah, and nearly cancelling the back of Rakan.
Yeah. That wouldn't have just canceled the back of Ducky. That would have taken Ducky off the Rift in its entirety, but they did get him in the end. Death Push, successful. QUT feeling very confident at this stage. Tron the Palm continuing to push his advantage in the side lanes as, unfortunately for Simpmaster, even with the Blade of the Ruin King, even with that Black Flavor, it doesn't really feel like there is much he can do as that Titanic Hydra on Tron the Palm is just going to keep pushing these waves in, keep forcing Simpmaster back. Meanwhile, the rest of QUT, their eyes are more focused on the top half of the map. They see that last tower standing up there, and they're putting a lot of pressure and attention towards it. At the moment, only Nightmare is standing in defense, and that could be up. It wasn't Nightmare, it was Skippy. most baited caster. Either way, only one man defending the tower. He cannot do much. As you can see, the waves now starting to crash. QUT is going to get themselves another tower unless Murdoch does something crazy.
Yeah, I think they're going to get themselves a free tower here, as it looks like we might have a fight in the bot lane, or at least a skirmish, with very clearly Simp Master coming out on the negative side of that one, with Chon the Bomb health not even touched, so that bot lane is going to keep getting pushed in. And this is the problem that Murdoch is going to have. Oh, no, Entropic.
Entropic could be getting caught out. The cocoon was not enough, though, to bring him down. And a huge heroic entrance will hurt Murdoch in place despite the use of the Pop Blossom. They're falling quickly, flashing over the wall, getting that big taunt. Yes, here, Lil Simo buying time for the rest of the team to join him. Janet's going to try and chase down Ducky. Won't get there. Nightmare might be that next target. There is the ultimate's being dropped. Featherstorm actually is not going to connect with anything, but the flash route is good, but not good enough. Ducky and Nightmare do make it back to the fountain, but at what cost? Because the base is blown open. Super minions are piling in. QUT's health bars are low. Simpmaster still running around trying to do what he can, and actually QUT might have to back away from this.
I think QUT has to respect the fact that they are on low HP. Like, they can't afford to throw the game here from trying to overcommit to something.
Yeah.
I swear Entropic is doing his best Scott impression, just getting caught out, but instantly winning a fight. Because that him getting caught out there made a massive heroic entrance into the massive ulti. That was a very, very good fight for QUT, as we see just how far ahead they are at this point in the game.
Meanwhile, I'm just like looking back and little Simo flashing over the wall, taunting 3 members without his team backing up and somehow getting out of that one alive as well. Murdoch, 2 situations where it felt like really should have gone in their favor. Unfortunately, we're unable to get the job done. And with Baron now spawning on the map in 10 seconds, you have to feel like these team fights are a bit too heavy in QUT's favor. And Murdoch is really going to have to go for a steal, not a fight. And that's going to be tough because QUT, they've had that map, they've had that vision control. It's looking like this has become QUT's game to lose. And we might be seeing the end of the loss streak and the continuation of the Senna win streak.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see. Currently, from the looks of it, the Senna is stronger than QUT's loss. 100% versus 100%. So this is an interesting game where, like you said in the pre-game, a record is being broken as they're starting up Baron.
Yeah, that will be the case. As you can see, though, Killaroo is looking for an opportunity. He does have a control ward to jump onto. Baron down to 4k. Damage being thrown over the wall. QUT is actually slowing the aggro down on this one, trying to force Murdoch to take the bait early. Baron down at 2.5. And here comes Murdoch. They're going for it. The Pop Blossom is going to connect with 3, but they do not get the Baron. And now this is the fight that QUT wants. Murdoch gets obliterated. We're looking at a near ace as Nightmare is running for his life, but he will not be able to escape the Janet. There is the showstopper. Featherstorm can only buy so much time. He'll go down. That is 4 for none as Simpmaster with Teleport did not join the fight, but one Renekton versus the world. QUT may have done it.
Yeah, QUT may have done it there. Really smart by QUT, stalling out the Baron, forcing Murdoch to commit hard, and what looked like was going to be a really good fight for Murdoch just turns into an absolute slaughter in the pit as they can't seem to get anything. Look at the shield from Little Simo, just giving him half HP shielding.
Meanwhile, it is one man versus the world in that corner below, and there is not much Simpmaster can do. QUT, winless wonders no more as they take their first against Murdoch University.
Yeah, neither of us predicted this. We thought it was going to be a pretty one-sided affair. The numbers were in Murdoch's favor, but QUT pulling things back, getting their first win of this season against Murdoch, and now Murdoch's their fate in this tournament is at the hands of everyone else.
Okay, this is the second time I've heard this song. Sorry to derail a bit. Second time I've heard this post-game song. It sounds like it sounds Silent Hill. This sounds like a Silent Hill song. I don't know why that gets me so excited, but it sounds like Silent Hill too. Either way, though, some highlights from the fight right now is you can see it started off very, very even. The times in between these fights very long, as it was pretty slower pace compared to what we normally see. But when the fights did happen, they were tense and they were explosive.
Yeah, they were definitely explosive. I think we'll see a bot lane fight here in a minute, which was the first big team fight. And that's where we really saw just how explosive both teams are. Here, this team fight, just watch everything that is going on as the teams just decimate each other, but I believe QUT comes out just ahead.
Yes, so many times QUT would win these fights on the smallest of health bars as this one right here. I still don't know how Janus stayed alive as long as he did. Even re-engaging with that showstopper, getting onto that backline, an extra pick, walking forward into Nightmare, not keeping track of the recall, should have died, somehow doesn't, and those little mistakes are kind of what cost Murdoch.
Yeah, it's those little mistakes of not respecting things or maybe overcommitting slightly that has cost them a couple of these team fights. You know, getting caught out by Entropic's W on Senna, you know, starting those fights, getting caught out by Janet's E, getting hit by just random skill shots that didn't need to be done, like there, just getting absolutely deleted on the back line because they just didn't respect the engage that QUT had. And what happens because of it? They get wiped and they lose